The war room glowed with blue light as Supreme Commander Vexor stood in front of the holographic display. His 3 fingers moved across the controls, and a small planet appeared in the air above the table. It was mostly blue with patches of green and white. It looked peaceful. It looked perfect. "Gentlemen," Vexor said to the council members sitting around the table, "I present our next victory. This planet is called Earth." The council members leaned forward. Their scaled faces reflected the blue glow from the hologram. Admiral Torin smiled. "Tell us about this Earth." Vexor pulled up more information. Numbers and images floated in the air. The beings on this planet are called humans. They are very primitive. They have no faster-than-light travel. No energy shields. No laser weapons. They still use fire and explosions to power their machines. General Kohler laughed. It sounded like clicking in his throat. They sound like children playing with toys. How long will it take to conquer them? 3 days, Vexor replied. Maybe less. The planet is divided into almost 200 different groups. They fight each other constantly. They cannot work together. When we arrive, they will be confused and afraid. The council members nodded. This was good news. Easy conquests meant fewer soldiers lost. It meant more resources for the Imperium. It meant promotions and glory. "How many soldiers do we need?" asked Admiral Torin. 50,000 should be more than enough, Vexor said. "Standard invasion fleet. Standard weapons. This will be the easiest campaign of the year." A young voice spoke from the back of the room. "Sir, may I say something?" Everyone turned. It was Lisa, the youngest member of the council. She was a xenobiologist, a scientist who studied alien life. She held a data tablet in her hands and looked nervous. "What is it, Lisa?" Vexor asked. His voice sounded impatient. Lisa stepped forward. Her hands shook slightly. "Sir, I was looking at the old database. The Galactic Survey database from 1,000 years ago. Earth has a strange classification. It says Class 15 Deathworld." The room went silent for a moment. Then everyone started laughing. "Class 15? Admiral Torin said between laughs. "Young one, the classification system only goes up to Class 12. Everyone knows this." "But sir, the red text says avoid colonization in capital letters." "It is clearly an error in the old computer system," General Kohler interrupted. "Those ancient databases have many mistakes. You should not worry about it." Vexor raised his hand for silence. "Lisa, your concern is noted. But look at this planet. It has perfect weather. Beautiful water. Green plants. It looks like a paradise world, not a death world. We have conquered ice planets where the temperature kills in seconds. We have conquered desert worlds with no water. We have even taken gas giants. One pleasant planet with primitive beings will not stop the Imperium." Lisa wanted to say more. Something felt wrong. The warning in the database was too clear, too specific. But she could see that no one would listen. She sat down slowly, her heart still beating fast with worry. The vote was quick. Everyone raised their hand in agreement. 50,000 troops. Standard invasion fleet. Expected time to victory, 3 days. Prepare the ships, Vexor commanded. We leave in 2 days. In 1 week, Earth will be part of the Imperium. The council members left the room, talking excitedly about the easy victory ahead. Only Lisa remained, staring at her data tablet. The words glowed on the screen, Class 15 Deathworld, avoid colonization. She had a very bad feeling about this. Meanwhile, on the planet Earth, life continued as normal. Nobody knew what was coming. In Kansas, a small girl named Emma walked home from school. She kicked a stone down the sidewalk and complained to her friend about their math homework. "I hate fractions," she said. In Australia, a construction worker named Jack finished his shift. He wiped the sweat from his face, grabbed a cold beer, and headed home to watch television. In Mumbai, David and Anna got married. They danced with their families and friends. They were so happy. They thought this was the best day of their lives. In London, Robert fed his cat and made dinner. It was Thursday. Tomorrow he would go to work, just like every other Friday. None of them knew that tomorrow, their world would change forever. None of them knew that their ordinary planet was about to become a battlefield. And none of them knew that the peaceful blue world that looked so perfect to the aliens was actually the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. The Imperium fleet began moving toward Earth. The countdown to invasion had begun. The message came at 6 o'clock in the morning. It played on every television, every radio, every computer screen across the entire planet. The voice spoke in many languages. People of Earth. We are the Imperium. Your world now belongs to us. Put down your weapons. Give us your leaders. If you obey, we will not hurt you. If you fight, you will be punished. Resistance is useless. The message ended. For a moment, the world was silent. Then chaos erupted. In America, the president called an emergency meeting. In Russia, military bases went on high alert. In China, fighter jets scrambled into the sky. In smaller countries, people ran into the streets, screaming and crying. But the response was not what the aliens expected. Within minutes, the Imperium communication systems were flooded with messages. Some people sent memes and jokes. Others sent curse words and insults. A few sent marriage proposals to the alien commander. Several countries launched missiles at the alien ships in orbit. And one message from Australia contained nothing but profanity that made even the translation computer confused. On the flagship, Communications Officer Bren stared at his screen in shock. Commander Vexa, sir. They are not following the protocol. What do you mean? Vexa demanded. They are not surrendering. Some are attacking. Some are laughing at us. Some are trying to communicate peacefully. They are all doing different things. There is no coordination. Vexa slammed his fist on the console. Then we move to phase 2. Send down the landing forces. Show them our power. The transport ships descended through the atmosphere. They landed on 6 continents at the same time. Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia. Overwhelming force. Swift victory. Commander Talon led the Australian landing team. 50 soldiers marched out of the transport ship, expecting to see frightened primitives running away. Instead, Talon felt his knees bend. His legs shook. The ground seemed to pull him down with enormous force. Commander, his lieutenant gasped, struggling to breathe. The gravity. It is much stronger than standard. Almost 1.5 times. Turn on the exosuits, Talon ordered, fighting to stand upright. Full power. The mechanical suits hummed to life, helping them walk. But even with the machines, every step felt heavy. Every movement was exhausting. The air pressure made Talon's head hurt. His vision blurred slightly. Within an hour, 3 soldiers were vomiting. Something in the air was making them sick. Perhaps bacteria. Perhaps viruses. Their bodies had never encountered Earth's microbes before. This planet looked peaceful from space, Talon muttered. Then they heard the sound. A low growl from the bushes. The creature emerged slowly. It was massive, covered in orange and black stripes. Its yellow eyes focused on the soldiers. Its teeth were as long as Talon's hand. It moved like liquid death, despite the heavy gravity that crushed the alien soldiers. What is that thing? Someone screamed. The tiger attacked before anyone could fire their weapons. It moved faster than seemed possible. 2 soldiers went down, screaming. Energy rifles finally fired, and the animal retreated. But it was not alone. Something dropped from a tree. 8 legs. Fangs dripping with venom. Then a snake, 3 meters long, struck from the tall grass. Then ants, thousands of them, each bite burning like fire. We were told this was a safe landing zone. Talon shouted into his communication device. The reports from other landing sites were even worse. In India, the local military was fighting back with unexpected strength. In America, soldiers were using guerrilla tactics, hiding and attacking from unexpected angles. In Russia, the temperature had suddenly dropped to -30 degrees. None of the alien equipment was designed for such cold. In the Amazon rainforest, General Kola's forces were being destroyed by the jungle itself. Insects the size of a thumb caused paralytic pain with a single sting. Frogs whose skin killed with a touch. Jaguars that hunted his soldiers like prey. Plants that could poison with their thorns. Sir, we have lost 40 soldiers, Kola reported, his voice shaking. Not from human weapons. From the planet itself. The animals. The insects. The environment. This place is trying to kill us. On the flagship, Vexa listened to the reports in disbelief. We have superior technology. Superior weapons. How are we losing to primitive animals? In her private quarters, Lisa searched through the ancient database files. Her hands shook as she typed. There had to be more information about the Class 15 designation. There had to be an explanation. On Earth, in a military base in Colorado, Major Tom Harrison sat in a hastily organized meeting room. Officers from different countries were connecting through video screens. Let me understand this correctly, Tom said slowly. The aliens have energy weapons and spaceships, but they cannot handle our weather? They are afraid of tigers and spiders. That appears to be accurate, sir, his assistant confirmed. Tom looked at the other officers on the screens. Americans, British, Russians, Chinese, Japanese. They had been enemies just yesterday. Today, they were allies against a common threat. Gentlemen, Tom said with a grim smile, I think these aliens made a very big mistake. They came to a planet they do not understand. Let us teach them why Earth is not an easy target. The invasion was only 1 day old, and already it was failing. 1 week had passed since the invasion began. Supreme Commander Vexa stared at the numbers on his screen and could not believe what he was seeing. 3,000 soldiers dead. 5,000 wounded or too sick to fight. They controlled less than 2% of the planet's surface. How is this possible? Vexa asked his generals. We have conquered 500 worlds. Why is this primitive planet defeating us? Admiral Torin pulled up weather reports. Sir, yesterday a storm system destroyed our fleet in the Atlantic Ocean. The humans call it a hurricane. The winds were over 200 kilometers per hour. Our ships were not built to handle such force. The waves were 30 meters high. We lost 12 ships. What about the ground troops? Vexa demanded. General Kohler looked like he had aged 10 years in 1 week. Sir, the planet itself is killing us. In Australia, a bird called a cassowary has killed 6 of our soldiers. It is not even a predator, sir. It eats fruit. But it has claws like knives and it attacks anything that comes near. Another officer added weakly, the local humans call it a murder turkey. Vexa felt his blood pressure rising. We have energy weapons. We have advanced armor. How are we being defeated by birds? The armor was not designed for this planet, Kohler explained. There are tiny insects called mosquitoes. They drink blood and carry diseases. Our soldiers are getting sick from them. There are spiders with poison that dissolves flesh. In Africa, an animal called a hippopotamus destroyed 3 of our boats and killed everyone on board. The humans say it is an herbivore, sir. It eats plants, but it kills for territory. And the humans themselves? They are adapting faster than any species we have ever encountered, Admiral Torin said quietly. They are stealing our weapons and learning how to use them within hours. In Europe, they captured one of our supply bases. They used primitive explosives mixed with our energy rifles. The combination was very effective. Far below, in her small quarters, Lisa finally found what she had been searching for in the ancient database. Her hands trembled as she read the old survey report. Class 15 Deathworld. This classification is reserved for planets where conditions are so dangerous that intelligent life should not be able to evolve. Earth is classified as Class 15 because of these factors. 70% of the surface is covered by water that can drown any land creature. Violent weather includes electrical storms, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Earthquakes and volcanoes are common. The atmosphere has high oxygen content which makes fires spread quickly. There are over 10,000 apex predator species. Diseases and bacteria are extremely hostile to foreign biology. Gravity is 1.35 times galactic standard. Radiation from the sun is elevated. Conclusion: any species that develop space travel on this planet would have extreme survival abilities. Do not make contact. Lisa felt cold fear run through her body. They had not invaded a primitive world. They had invaded a nightmare planet that had created the most dangerous species in the galaxy. On Earth, Major Tom Harrison led a raid on an alien supply base in Colorado. His team included soldiers from 6 different countries: British, Russian, Japanese, German, Mexican, American. They moved together like they had trained for years, even though they had only met 2 weeks ago. Remember, Tom whispered into his radio, the aliens cannot handle our gravity well. Make them chase you uphill. Make them run. They will tire quickly. The raid took only 20 minutes. They captured 3 alien transport ships. They took enough energy weapons to arm 500 soldiers. And they captured 1 very important prisoner. Lisa had been at the supply base, doing research on local plant life. When the humans attacked, she did not fight. She put down her weapon and raised her hands. Please, she said in broken English that she had learned from intercepted broadcasts. Please listen. More ships are coming. Many more. I can help you. I want to help you. Tom Harrison looked at the small alien scientist. She was shaking with fear. Her large eyes were wet with what might have been tears. "Why would you help us?" Tom asked, his weapon still pointed at her. "Because this invasion is wrong," Lisa said, her voice breaking. "Because my people did not read the warnings. Because you should not have to die for our ignorance. Your planet made you strong. We did not understand. But I understand now." Tom made a decision. "Get her to headquarters. We need to know everything about their fleet." In space, Supreme Commander Vexor authorized something he had promised himself he would never need. He sent a message across the stars requesting reinforcements. The main armada would arrive in 5 months with 200,000 soldiers. Surely, he thought, by then they would have defeated these primitive humans. But deep down, for the first time in his military career, Vexor felt something unfamiliar. He felt doubt. And beneath that doubt, he felt the first cold touch of fear. The humans were not fighting like primitives. They were fighting like creatures who had spent their entire existence battling for survival. They were fighting like they had nothing to lose. Because on Earth, survival had never been guaranteed. It had always been earned. 3 months had passed since the aliens arrived. Captain Emily Shaw stood in what used to be a subway tunnel under London. Now it was a military command center filled with computers and soldiers. "Give me the report," Emily said to her assistant. Lieutenant Peter Brooks looked at the screens. "The aliens control about 8% of Earth now. Mostly empty areas with few people. Human military deaths are at 150,000. Civilian deaths around 400,000. But alien deaths are estimated at 15,000, with 10,000 more too sick or injured to fight." Emily nodded. The numbers were terrible. But humans were winning. Slowly, but winning. "What about our special guest?" she asked. Deep underground, Lisa worked alongside human scientists. Dr. James Mitchell, who used to design airplanes, listened carefully as Lisa explained alien technology. "The shield generator works like this," Lisa pointed at the diagram on the screen. "If you could match the frequency with your electrical systems, you could make portable shields." James smiled with excitement. "Lisa, you are brilliant. This could save thousands of lives." Lisa looked sad. "I am betraying my own people." "No," James said gently. "You are trying to stop a war that your people started. That takes real courage." Above ground, the war continued across the planet. In Africa, the aliens tried bombing from space. They fired energy weapons down at cities. But humans ran into caves, mines, and tunnels. They hid underground like their ancestors had done for thousands of years. Then human pilots, flying captured alien ships, attacked the bombardment vessels. 6 pilots died, but they stopped the attack. Captain Mark Turner had been a commercial pilot before the invasion. He flew passenger planes between cities. Now he flew alien spacecraft through space, his radio filled with voices speaking different languages. "This is Eagle 2, said a voice with a Russian accent. "I can see the target." "Eagle 4 ready," someone from China responded. "Weapons armed." The human pilots were not as experienced as the aliens. But they had spent their whole lives learning to adapt and survive. That was their advantage. On the ground, guerrilla warfare spread everywhere. In the jungles of Southeast Asia, soldiers used tactics that had worked for centuries. They knew how to hide. They knew how to ambush. They knew their own land. In the deserts of the Middle East, fighters showed the aliens why war in 50-degree heat was impossible without water. In the mountains of Europe, winter warfare left alien soldiers frozen and confused. The aliens tried using biological weapons. They released diseases designed to kill humans. It failed completely. Earth had so many different types of humans that some were naturally immune to the diseases. Those who got sick were kept separate while scientists, working with Lisa's help, created medicines in just weeks. How are they doing this? General Kohler shouted after another failed attack. "We have better technology." "They have a better planet," Admiral Torin said quietly. "And they know how to use it against us." The big turning point came in Europe. 5,000 human soldiers from many countries worked together. Americans, British, French, Germans, Polish, Russians. They attacked the aliens' main European command base. They used captured energy weapons, human explosives, and fighting tactics that no military school in the galaxy taught. Commander Talon, still recovering from a poisonous snake bite he got in Australia, watched in horror as humans climbed the walls of their fortress. They used simple ropes. Despite the heavy gravity that made his own soldiers exhausted, these humans moved like the gravity meant nothing to them. "They evolved here," Talon whispered in sudden understanding. This crushing gravity is normal for them. They were born in it. The base fell in 6 hours. The aliens had lost their main command center on the ground. When Supreme Commander Vexor heard the news, he made his decision. Bring the full fleet. 200,000 soldiers. Every warship we have. We will crush them with pure force. Lisa's voice came through on a captured radio channel. The humans had given her permission to make one broadcast to her people. Commander, please, Lisa begged. Withdraw now. You cannot win this. Earth is a Class 15 Deathworld. The humans are more dangerous than you understand. They have survived this planet their entire existence. War is just another challenge to them. Traitor, Vexor spat. When we win, you will be punished. If you bring the Armada, Lisa said sadly, you will only bring more soldiers to their deaths. In Colorado, Major Tom Harrison listened to the message. How long until their big fleet arrives? 3 months, Peter answered. Tom looked around at the people in the room. Generals from different armies. Scientists. Regular people who had become soldiers. All of them were exhausted. All of them had lost friends and family. But none of them looked defeated. They think overwhelming numbers will win, Tom said. Let us show them what happens when you fight a Deathworld that fights back as one. Around the planet, humanity prepared. They had survived ice ages. They had survived plagues. They had survived world wars and natural disasters. They had crawled from caves to reach the stars. Now the stars had come to them. And Earth's children were ready to show the galaxy what survival really meant. 6 months after the invasion began, the Imperium Armada arrived at Earth's solar system. Supreme Commander Vexor stood on the bridge of his flagship Dominator. Behind him were 150 warships and 200,000 fresh soldiers. Show me the planet, Vexor commanded. The screen displayed Earth. But something was wrong. The planet was surrounded by structures that had not been there before. What are those? Vexor asked. Orbital defense platforms, Admiral Torin reported nervously. Built using our stolen technology mixed with human engineering. They are crude but they work. Impossible. These primitives do not have space technology. They did not 6 months ago, sir. They do now. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Dozens of small ships flew up from Earth's atmosphere. Fighters incoming, an officer shouted. Sir, they are flying our own captured ships, but with modifications. Captain Mark Turner sat in the cockpit of his fighter. It was half alien technology, half human innovation. Lisa had helped design the communication system so all human pilots could talk to each other instantly. All wings, this is Defiant One, Mark called. Remember, they are bigger but we are faster. We know how to survive. Let us protect our home. The space battle was chaos. The aliens had more ships and bigger guns. But human pilots fought with desperate courage and creativity. Captain Ruth Walker from Australia deliberately crashed her damaged fighter into an alien warship's shield generator. She destroyed it before ejecting in an escape pod. Her sacrifice let 3 other fighters destroy the exposed ship. They are crashing into us on purpose, a panicked alien pilot broadcast. They are insane. On the Dominator, Vexor watched his display in horror. How many fighters do they have? Over 500, sir. All built from our captured technology. Then we go to the ground. Land all troops. Overwhelm them with numbers. The transport ships descended. But Earth had changed dramatically. Sandstorms in the Sahara destroyed 3 transports. Monsoon rains in Asia made landing zones mud pits. In Siberia, temperatures were -4 to 5 degrees. Even with protective suits, alien soldiers died within hours. General Kohler landed in North America with 10,000 soldiers. They secured a landing zone near Kansas. For exactly 4 hours. Then Major Tom Harrison attacked with combined forces from America, Britain, Canada, and Mexico. They had trained together for months. They knew the land. They knew how to use Earth's gravity as a weapon. They knew exactly how to fight. Remember, Tom told his troops, they are tired. They are scared. Their bodies were not made for this world. But we were. This is our home. The battle was brutal and short. When it ended, General Kohler lay wounded on the ground. He looked up at Tom with understanding in his eyes. Your planet made you this way, Kohler said weakly. You had to become strong to survive here. Every single day of our lives, Tom confirmed. The final battle came when human special forces executed what Lisa called the craziest plan in galactic history. Colonel James Bennett led a team of elite soldiers from 15 different nations. They flew a captured transport straight into the Dominator's hangar bay. Close combat in low gravity followed. The humans found it liberating after living their whole lives in Earth's heavy gravity. They moved like dancers, bouncing off walls and shooting with deadly accuracy. They reached the bridge in 40 minutes. Supreme Commander Vexor stood surrounded, his guards defeated. He looked at the muddy, bloody, determined humans and finally understood. These were not primitives. They were survivors of a Class 15 Deathworld. They had been training for war since birth, fighting a planet that tried to kill them every day. "I surrender," Vexor said quietly. Colonel James opened a channel to all alien forces and the entire galaxy. Standing on the bridge of the conquered flagship with Vexor kneeling before him, James broadcast Earth's message. "This is Colonel James Bennett of Earth Defense Coalition. Your invasion has failed. Your commander has surrendered. Leave our planet now and we will return your soldiers alive. Come back, and we will destroy everything you send." He paused, then continued with steel in his voice. "To the rest of the galaxy, Earth is a Class 15 Deathworld. We did not ask to be born on a planet with hurricanes, earthquakes, diseases, and predators. But we survived it all. We are done being victims. We are not primitives. We are Deathworlders. And we are coming to the stars." 3 days later, the Imperium retreated. The final count was 47,000 alien casualties against 800,000 human losses. But humanity had won. The Galactic Council updated Earth's classification, Class 15 Deathworld. Inhabited by spacefaring humans. Do not engage in hostile action. 2 months later, Ambassador Helen Cooper met the first diplomatic ship in orbit. "We come to discuss trade and apologize," the nervous alien representative said. "Apology accepted," Helen replied firmly. "Earth is open for friendship. But never for conquest." On Earth, Lisa worked with James Mitchell in a laboratory. Together they designed humanity's first true starship. "You know," James said while working, "6 months ago we were primitive. Today we are a united spacefaring civilization with battle-tested technology." Lisa smiled. "Not bad for Deathworlders." Above Earth, construction began on humanity's first space station. Children played in parks below, the first generation to grow up knowing they were not alone. And across the galaxy, civilizations learned a lesson. Never underestimate a species from a Class 15 Deathworld. They have been fighting to survive since before they could speak. War, to them, is just another day on Earth.